Hi, I'm Mayor Gary Passanante, and I'd like to thank you all for taking a few minutes to listen to this very important announcement concerning your electricity. I'm here today with two gentlemen from our consultants, Good Energy, Gary Fogelman and Gary Swantner, who are going to talk about our new energy aggregation program, which we're implementing this coming August. As you probably are aware, we took action 2 years ago in 2014 to set the stage to be able to take advantage of energy aggregation and be able to get the best energy prices that we could for you as a resident. Today we're going to take a few minutes to be able to explain how this program is going to work. We have recently gone out to bid and had a very successful bid package come in, and we're going to be able to save you significant money on your bills in the future. So today we wanted to really go through how the program works, what it means for you as a user in our community, and hopefully answer any questions you may have about the program, plus provide information about, if you want additional information, where to go to get that. So I'll turn to Gary Fogelman, and yes, we're going to get you confused today because we got three Garys, but which is quite odd, but it works great. So Gary,
yes.
Energy aggregation, can we at least explain the process, because some people don't understand how aggregation works?
Sure. Government energy aggregation, as it's known in New Jersey, and it's available in 6 other states. New York is currently piloting a 7th program. But this type of program, it's state legislation that enables a particular municipality to aggregate or combine all of the electricity usage of its community and put it out as in terms of a bulk purchasing opportunity. So it's put out to bid to third-party suppliers in the state, eligible third-party suppliers, to see if they can undercut the rates from the utility and provide some measure of savings to the community and also some budget stability on their bills.
So some people may not understand how their electric bill is, the makeup of their electric bill. So, I mean, we all kind of are in this and we know this, but maybe we should start from scratch and explain to them that there is a difference between your supplier and the person who transports or services your house. Could you explain that?
So there are 3 components to your bill in New Jersey. There's the delivery charges, then there's transmission charges and supply charges. The delivery charges are the regulated portion of your bill. This program will not impact that part of your bill. This portion only impacts the supply charges, which is actually a combination of the transmission and the supply charges combined to create that total supply charge. This is the deregulated part of your bill. This is the part that third-party suppliers are able to bid on and bring about a lower cost. In New Jersey, it's actually required in government energy aggregation law that when the bid is received, it must be below current utility prices. So in effect, we start immediately with savings by law in New Jersey. But again, this is only affecting the supply portion of the bill, not the delivery portion. So very often, the #1 question that we get is, what happens if there's an outage? What happens if there's a power outage in my community? What do I do? You would contact Atlantic City Electric or PSE&G in order to get the problem corrected. They still maintain all the poles, all the wires. Delivery still comes from them. You should see absolutely no change in service from the program.
So I think what's really important at this stage to emphasize is that our current customers that either are Atlantic City Electric or PSE&G will continue to work with them. They will be their primary service source. And if they have a problem, like they always do, they would call PSE&G's number or they would call Atlantic City Electric's number. And really all that's changing is where the actual electricity is coming from. Because right now, if they are not under a contract with a third-party supplier, they're getting their electricity from either PSE&G or Atlantic City Electric, right?
Correct.
One of the questions that I've had, Gary, I'll flip it to you now. One of the questions I had, people say is, well, what about Atlantic City Electric and PSE&G? Aren't they upset that we're doing this? And I think it's important people know how the process works.
Sure. The utility companies are not upset with this. Many people look out into the market to get third-party suppliers on their own. and it really takes away nothing from the utility itself. They're just simply running the poles and wires to allow the electricity to go to your house. If you have not chosen a third-party supplier, then they supply the electricity for you, but they're more than happy to have another third-party supplier come in and supply that electricity to your house.
So really, they're not losing any money. Their business is the rest of the package, not really the supply side.
That is
and
correct.
so they're not going to be upset, or they're not going to treat that resident differently because they're getting their electric from some other third-party supplier. And I think that's where the real concern is. If they make that phone call, are they going to be treated as second class because, you know, they're not getting service?
You'll see the same service as you saw before.
Okay. One of the other things I want to talk about is this is strictly electricity. It's not their natural gas. So in our case, we do have another supplier for natural gas. So a PSE&G customer may get their gas and electric from PSE&G, but Atlantic City Electric customer could get it from South Jersey Gas. And we could have a PSE&G customer getting from South Jersey Gas. So this does not affect their gas at
Correct.
all.
Correct. Only electricity.
Only electricity, okay. So when's the program going to start up? We've gone to bid. When will we actually expect that there'll be a change in the billings?
The bid occurred at the end of May, May 25th, and the first month of service with a reduced rate, and that is coming from Tri-Eagle Energy for Atlantic City Electric customers and from Con Edison Solutions for PSEG customers. That program begins in August. So you'll actually see the change in cost begin in September for your August service.
Okay.
And actually, I should say that one of the nice things about the program is that typically August is, because it's so warm, it's a very high use, high electricity use month for customers because of air conditioning demand. So the program kicks in right at the right time when we can actually maximize on savings for the month of August.
And we awarded a 14-month-long contract so that we
Correct.
could take us through next year's summer months as well. So we'll get the highest return on our savings for both summer periods.
Exactly.
Okay. So the next question I have is, let's talk about the savings, because we're saying they're going to save money, but we haven't told them how much. So can we talk about the change in what the rate's going to go to and how much the expected household would save?
Sure. The cost across the board for residents in either Atlantic City Electric or PSEG are going to be paying a rate of 0.09782 per kilowatt hour. So that's 0.09782, 0.09, that's 9 cents per kilowatt hour. The savings there is anywhere between about 7.5% to 9% for your average customer. 7.5% is closer in Atlantic City Electric, about 9% in PSEG. Those rates will remain fixed and not change until October of 2017.
So even if the BPU approves a rate change and there's an increase that would
correct.
happen, our residents are protected, a locked-in number for 14 months.
That's correct.
Okay. One of the other things that I've had conversations, because as you all know, because we've been working with you since 2014, we had a big town meeting, had people come in, and one of the things that I heard from our residents is that they were thankful that we were looking so carefully at these programs, because many people are being inundated with we can save you money, and some of these are not the most transparent or beneficial programs. Can we talk a little bit about that issue and why our approach really safeguards the residents to make sure they're getting the best price possible?
Sure. I should actually answer slightly more on your previous question in that we expect annual savings in the community to be, for your average household, about $80 to $100 per year. In terms of the other offers, it's very interesting. You see quite a few offers in deregulated energy states for electricity and natural gas, but primarily for electricity. And a lot of the offers tend to start with a fixed rate for a very short amount of time, and then in the finer print on the contract, it says that it could switch to a variable rate. For this program, the rate will remain absolutely fixed for the entire term of the contract. And the reason that we were able to get the kind of savings that we got was because we were able to leverage the bulk purchasing power of 3 communities. So it's your community, it's Winslow Township, and Gloucester Township. Those 3 communities pooled all of their electricity usage into one buying group, something that your ordinary household wouldn't be able to do on their own. It's much like going to a BJ's wholesaler or a Sam's Club, something like that, where you're getting the bulk purchasing power from that type of store.
Okay. That's great. And I do want to mention, because I did fail to do that earlier, is that when we originally went out a couple years ago, we were the first town in Camden County to actually move on this opportunity. And the agreement that we had, and what I portrayed to our residents, is that if we didn't get enough savings, we would not take action. So we actually gave it a test run back in 2014. The savings were some, but not enough to warrant taking a move. Since that time, we were successful in getting Gloucester Township to join us in Winslow, which really increased the household volume with 35,000 versus the couple thousand we have in our community. So
Correct.
as the smallest of the 3 communities, Somerdale got the most benefit because we were able to take advantage of that volume purchase that the other 2 towns brought. And hopefully, as we move forward, since we've set the example now, that many of the other Camden County towns, particularly our neighboring towns, will take advantage of this and jump on board, because if we can get them on board, our next go-around could be even more successful than this one.
Exactly. The larger you are in general, the much more attractive you are to a third-party supplier. So they're going to get much more competitive in their bidding, and it's only going to benefit the community.
So the enrollment process, let's talk about how that takes place, and you know, what's mandatory, what's not mandatory, because I think the whole opt-out issue is somewhat confusing for some people. So I want to make sure we make it real clear and make sure they understand that this is a unique program. It's not like some of these other third parties where when you're in, you have to stay in for the length of that contract. When they're, you know, when they're getting pitched individually from some of these companies, they're locked in.
Correct.
In this case, they're not.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's explain that a little more.
Well, with other offers, you might have early termination fees or penalties. With this program, you do not. So that's very important to distinguish from other types of programs. Residents should have or will be receiving a letter in the mail in the very near future. It's called an opt-out letter. And that letter is coming with the seal of Somerdale in the return address, but it's actually coming from the supplier, either Tri-Eagle or Con Edison Solutions, detailing the program and how it works. You're asked that if you do not wish to participate in the program, you send the card back that's enclosed in the letter saying that you don't want to participate. It's already has its postage on it, so it only requires a quick filling out and dropping in the mail. There's very little more than that. You have 30 days from the day of the postmark of the letter that was originally sent to respond. If not, you'll be enrolled in the program, and even still, if you want to drop out at a future time, you're more than welcome to do so without penalty. I should mention that anyone who is currently with a third-party supplier, and I apologize if I'm jumping to another
okay.
question down the road, anyone who's already on with another supplier will be excluded from the mailing list, so you're not going to get a letter. We don't want to put anyone into any type of conflict with their existing supplier. Once they come off of that contract, they then become eligible for the program. They'll be sent an opt-out letter from either supplier, depending upon where you live, and you can take advantage of the benefits of the program exactly as they are for everybody else through the duration of the program until October 2017.
So those folks that are in a contract with a third-party supplier of any type, if it's not PSE&G and it's not, or not Atlantic City Electric, that they're being they're getting their source of energy from,
Right.
then they would not be sent something to change now.
Correct.
However, we'll be monitoring that, and when that contract expires, then they'll automatically be sent the opportunity to be able to get into our program at any point during this contract, this next
Exactly.
14 months, and they can take advantage of the rates.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that, again, we don't want to put anyone into any type of jeopardy with their existing supplier. But if there is no early termination fee or penalty involved with ending a contract early, and you happen to go to Somerdale's website and look at the FAQs perhaps and see the rate, and it works for you, you're more than welcome to join then, and however you want to handle it with your existing supplier.
So I think that a key message with this is that no one is being forced to have to
Correct.
participate. So if for some reason someone really wants to spend more money for electricity because they feel like they can, then they can do that.
Right.
And no one's going to say you can't. Okay? And even if they get in it and they decide for some reason that they think they can get a better deal somewhere else, they can opt out and be able to take advantage of something else that might come along. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about solar, okay?
Sure.
Because I know we have a lot of residents that are putting solar. I see them popping up everywhere. How does this affect those people that have just installed solar panels?
This is a very common question. New Jersey is a very big market for residential solar panels. So the solar panels that you have on your house will supply your energy during the day when the sun is out, but it doesn't supply all your energy because at night when the sun is not out, you're still requiring energy to come through the poles and wires. If you're currently receiving your energy from the utility, you will be moved into this program. You'll receive the new rate. So whether you're an ACE or PSE&G, you'll go into this aggregated rate for the energy that's not coming to you from your solar panels. Now, if that portion of the electricity is coming from a third-party supplier, again, you'll stick with your third-party supplier until your contract ends. But if you are with PSE&G or ACE, and you're getting the rest of your energy from there, except for your solar panels, then you will be part of the program. You'll be paying a lower rate for that part of the electricity bill.
So, yeah, I don't want to oversimplify this, but it just seems like this is a no-brainer that the residents are going to save no matter what. Okay, they're going to have the option to be able to save if they want to take advantage of it. If they think they're saving more or they are saving more through another program they're in, they can stay in that. They'll stay in that. If they jump out of that program because it expires, they can jump into ours during it, so there's not like a time frame that they can get in and get out. So, I mean, it's as flexible as we can possibly make it. Is that correct?
It's super flexible, it's very simple, it's very transparent.
And they're not signing a contract, by the
No
way.
contracts being signed.
Okay. Another thing that I want to make sure we emphasize is that some people that are skeptical of government, and I understand because I tend to be skeptical of government myself. So I want to make sure that the residents understand that there is absolutely no benefit or profit to the municipality as an entity
That's
for
correct.
this program. Is that correct?
Yes.
All savings are transferred through to the residents.
Correct.
Okay, so we make nothing on it. No one's paying me or sending me to a vacation somewhere. This is all benefiting the residents, but this is the only way the residents could take advantage of this because the state has allowed municipalities to become an aggregator and do this for their residents. They couldn't do this on their own.
Correct. And by the same token, Somerdale and the other two communities are not paying our firm to build the program in the first place. We're paid by the supplier. So there's no cost in terms of what is coming to the community, and there's nothing that you're actually earning either, except for the goodwill of your residents.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that's important. Throughout this whole program the last couple of years, you as our consultants have been investing in the outreach program that we've instituted here. We've paid nothing for that. You've underwritten all of the costs associated with that. So there has been absolutely no cost to the taxpayer for us to implement the program, and no ongoing revenue stream that we get that they're missing out on. They get it all.
Correct. Yeah, we
Okay.
think it's a fairly rare type of program that a government can offer. We're excited about it.
I know that we had our town meeting. By the end of the meeting, and having explained it in detail, I had a number of residents applaud us and say this is what local government should be doing, is taking care of the residents. And the seniors, I was surprised, were the most thankful because they feel very intimidated by some of these offers that are coming and they don't understand them. And at least they feel comfortable that we're taking the time through having a series of professionals look at these contracts, formulate the bid package to make sure that we're getting the absolute best price that can be gotten at any given time.
Correct. I would also add to that even though the program has begun, and this is the type of thing that tends to mitigate some of those offers that residents are seeing, particularly seniors, It's important to remember that the program is going to go until October 2017. So you're going to continue to see those offers. Even though they may have decreased, you're still going to get the offers in your mailbox. People may be knocking on your door trying to get you to join with them. We've seen all sorts of things. This program, nobody will knock on your door. Nobody will send you any letter other than the opt-out letter that comes initially. And it's just a very transparent program.
Well, I know we've had a hotline on the screen for our residents as well, and what I would suggest to the residents that if at any point in time going forward, if they have a question or concern about how the program works, or if they're getting another offer and they're not sure that that offer is, you know, something that's coming from our people, they should call that hotline. If for whatever reason they're more comfortable with calling the borough, they can give the borough a call. I'm happy to return that call personally to help clear things up. But we want to make sure they know that there is a vehicle for them to be able to get more information. Our website has links on it already that give all the FAQs that we are covering now, so somebody can read that. But there's outreach opportunities for them if they have any questions going forward.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about budget billing, because I know that's always a question that comes up with folks. So whoever wants to take that, how does it work? Or well, let me see, can they do it?
They can. Budget billing is still in place. It's a very important program for both utilities. There's some differences between Atlantic City Electric and PSE&G. So I would refer those folks who are already on budget billing to review the FAQs online, which are posted on your site and also posted for us. But they explain in detail how Atlantic City Electric is going to work it, and in a much simpler form how PSEG is going to work it. But it is absolutely available.
Okay, so for those that are comfortable with budget and they don't want that to change, they don't have to have it changed. They
Correct.
can keep that. They still will get the savings. They'll get the new rate, but it'll be incorporated into a
Correct.
revised budget for them that will be obviously a bit lower because their energy is being delivered a little cheaper. Okay. So what happens at the end of 14 months? Okay, because this is another issue that comes up is like, you know, we have a 14-month contract. The good thing is they're locked in. If there are rate increases in those 14 months, they're protected. But what are we doing for them after the 14 months? Because I would imagine that once people get a taste of saving some money, they're going to expect to continue to do that, and we want to make sure that that happens. So how do we do that?
Well, during this 14-month process, as we said, this program will end in October of 2017. Good Energy will be watching the market and looking for the best spot to go back in and to bid to extend the program. Somerdale was incredibly patient over 2 years to try to find the best time in the market to enter it and go out to bid, and luckily we saw great savings when we did so. So we'll be going through that process again over the next several months, trying to find a very good spot to where we can start a new program starting in October of 2017. So there's a seamless transition from this current 14-month program entering into a new program.
So the other important part of that is once you do that and we go out to bid again, there is a reset to a certain extent after October of next year that everyone gets another shot at being able to decide whether they want to opt out or not. So, you know, everything starts all over as far as their opportunity to make a new decision.
Correct.
Based on whatever rate that we're able to get at that point in time. Is that correct?
Exactly. They'll receive another opt-out letter detailing the program all over again with the new rate, the new price to compare from the utility, and then once again they can make their own decision.
Well, again, I'll go back to my comment. It seems like a no-brainer. We as a municipality and governing body are really pleased to be able to deliver this opportunity to our residents. We're also proud to be the first ones to have leaped into this, having the vision to want to do something like this, and I'm glad that it worked out that we're going to have savings of a decent magnitude and probably even higher as the rates start to adjust going into next year. So we're really thrilled, and I can't say enough good words about you folks from Good Energy, because you held our hand through the whole process, made sure that we didn't make any mistakes, and took advantage of the market when it was the right time to do that. So I do want to thank you for being such great watchdogs over this industry. Is there anything else that we should provide to the residents at this point as information? Have I missed anything?
There's one thing that comes to mind for me. For residents who may be moving within the community, just because you move within the community doesn't mean the program ends. So if you're in Somerdale and you move from one address to another within the municipal boundaries, you can continue to take advantage of the program. There'll probably be some communication that has to be done between Tri-Eagle or Con Edison Solutions, but you should be able to fairly seamlessly just segue your accounts right over to the existing government energy aggregation rate.
So if they are moving from a section of town that's PSE&G to another one that's PSE&G, then the supplier Con Ed would stay the same. If they're moving from a section of town that's PSE&G to Atlantic City Electric or vice versa, then they would be changing from either Con Ed to Tri-Eagle or
Correct.
Tri-Eagle to Con Ed.
But the rate is consistent among both utility regions, so there's no difference between the rates. The only difference is the savings that you see, and that's because of the price to compare from the utility. So it's very small, but there's just slightly more savings in for PSE&G customers, just slightly.
Anything else to add, Gary? That we
I think we really covered it, and if anybody has any questions, they can call the hotline that we're flashing up on the screen. That will go directly to Good Energy, or visit the Somerdale website, where we have a very informative list of frequently asked questions, and they can read through those and educate themselves on the process.
Well, again, I want to thank you for coming out to spend some time to go through this. I think it's really important. I'm thrilled that we were able to accomplish some decent savings for our community, and looking forward to continuing that going forward. So at this time, I'm going to go back to you and say thank you for trusting in our local government to do the right thing for you as a resident. If you have any questions about the program as we move through this, please do not hesitate to call the number on the screen, go to our website, or call the borough if you want to speak with anyone at the borough directly. We're here to help. Congratulations that we're all going to be saving some money. Thank you again, Good Energy. And we look forward to continuing to give you some good news as the year goes forward with new work to save us some more money. Thank you.